All right, let's get this all set up for this special stream. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It's the 5th of March, and yeah, this is my birthday stream. This is going to be like a stream of consciousness stream, going on about the different topics that come to mind, and anything else maybe with live coding, but I'm going to try to probably keep this short, and yeah, we'll see where we end up. Please use the chat comments and other means to talk. I'm right now streaming to X YouTube, and let's see. I'll try to add quickly a new destination. And let's just use this template to Rumble. So that will be a new destination if we can connect. Let's see. Let's go for vlog. Let's see what we can do here. All right, now let's go public. Let's go next, and it's personal. All right, so let's get streamer configuration. Here we go, the server. Oh, they already have something going, so that's nice. And what is that? Let's see what we have here going for Rumble. And I don't think they actually have here what I need, but okay, here it is. Ooh, I can even connect here, so that's nice. Let's see if this joins works, and it looks like it did, which is perfect. So hello to Rumble for the first time. I'll try to stream here much more often than everything, or not than everything, but in general. So let's see. And it's in progress. So hello once again. Welcome everybody. My name is Jan Work, aka Storyteller CZ. Today is my birthday, so I'm kind of doing a stream of consciousness stream. We'll see how things evolve, and let's see. Let me go to Slack and Discord as well, hopefully not crashing my computer. And I will check if we have anything interesting going on there or questions. They have a bit of issues with the computer. And let's see, we have I should probably be checking more often the updates on packages. So quite a few interesting things that's on the community Slack. There is a packages channel, which kind of lists everything all the packages updates that happen. So, and I also kind of use it as a bit of a discovery as well. So that's where we go. I see that yesterday we also had a new Austrio files beta come out. So I'm looking forward because I will be working with that package shortly. So super excited about that. There is a lot of performance updates happening on Meteor. So that's looking forward to that as well to see where that goes. So right now I'm streaming to Rumble, YouTube, and X. I will be later on probably doing a stream to my Twitch, just like some Guild Wars stuff. Probably doing some achievements or something like that. We will see how that goes on. And so right now I don't see any questions. I'll just make the reply private because I don't really know what's going on to happen here. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, any thoughts. I'll be happy to reply. I'm not sure. Let me do like a quick test here from Rumble if I'm going to actually see it. And I do. Very good. Very good. I'm very happy with this. So I think also in the future there will be streams for the universe to Rumble as well. We have some new things coming out, so definitely will start to utilize Rumble much more to kind of see where we can take it. Really like to support new and up and coming platforms. So what I'll probably do is just maybe a bit of a coding session, and then something in general, maybe writing. Let me think. Actually, there is another thing that I kind of want to try out to do. Lately, I have been kind of looking at the Earth crustal tilt theory, which let's see, what was his name? I saw it like on, I think it was Timcast. One person who kind of talked about it, mentioned it. I've looked into it. I found it very interesting. So let's kind of see, and this is kind of where we'll be testing. Let's put it right here. Ta-da! Let's use this. So what I did, kind of like looked at what it can gather, try play here with some of the images, which it's like this. Some of them you can like literally see just like AI, and so far I had a very I think this is like a very nice prime example of the limits of AI, that it says, like there's a crustal tilt, everything shifts 90 degrees, generate an image, and it can only generate the image of current Earth. It just does not know what to do. And okay, this was Ben Davidson, and this really got me kind of like here thinking, okay, where would be the best thing to kind of survive this, all that stuff. And eventually, what I was getting here is like, okay, let's predict certain future it has and what it kind of generates. If I scroll completely down, here is, let's kind of start here, because I'm kind of curious, how long it's going to kind of take to review, which is of course very debatable, but um, some context and assumptions, a 90-degree tilt shift, and we have one location in Japan, one location in Czechia. Then I have, of course, Tibetan Plateau for China, Deccan Plateau in India. Then we have Central Siberia, Ethiopian Highlands, Andes, Archipelago, Zagros Mountains, Middle East, Brazilian Highlands, and Rockies and Alps as kind of the prime locations. And especially with the Czech location, and the Japanese, or in general, it kind of presumes that there will actually be some bunkers, and something is going to happen. So we have kind of 10 years or so for this to happen. And I've kind of also had it in the scenario that the imperial family in Japan survive, which kind of gives Japan the cultural boost. So of course, then you have the first year you cannot go outside because of all the eruption, all everything. So you kind of are stuck in a bunker, and like only the second year where things kind of stabilize, you can go outside. Here it has an estimate that the population will be like around 1.5 billion, with like 500,000 or so in the shelters. Again, me giving us as humanity big leg up, because and this kind of a side note here, this is even maybe like if there are being shelters built and everything, of course they're not going to tell you if this is what they are preparing, because that's going to cause panic and chaos, which how should I say it, I kind of wish that the strategy would be, okay, let's focus on these survival things and options, and kind of do that more potentially in the open, and so that people are more like, if something happens, I just go to this bunker or whatnot, I'll be safe. But sadly, that's not how the world works, which is to our detriment. So then from that, of course, I have the regions, Czechia, kind of put it for Lipno, but it could be pretty much any mountains, because Czechia has like the Czech Massive, which they say it's going to crack, but more or less that will be it, and it will, thanks to that, the impact there will be just the volcanic ash primarily. Places like low-lying places like Prague are going to get flooded, and we might even have like a inland sea, you could say, a little bit in Czechia, depending on how things go, or big inland lake, for example, in Prague. So that's that. But even like afterwards, it will be like small fortified villages trying to survive, and Prashna will have to be survival in the Alps, because as things move, a lot of waves and all that stuff. So this was kind of also a bit test for let's say AI to kind of gather different sources and try to make it, but even like here, it's kind of, this is grog, but I don't think I would have much of different results anywhere else. I will probably try with ChatGPT to see if it can test. The problem is, I had to really force it to focus just on this location, and it's had hard time really finding any additional ones, which I'm not sure if it's just because we really don't have much of this in forecasting, or there are like any no more location. And then I've kind of was interested because for me, as I'm thinking about how can I maybe use this in my story, because for years now I have been like wrecking my head how do I talk in my sci-fi about our current times? How do I resolve all these socio-political, economical issues so that the community can kind of, planet can kind of advance, or humanity can advance into space and so on. And I was just not having a good times, and I've kind of thought that maybe uh, this shift is pretty much it's creating a blank slate, and I just have to move my timeline in my story probably at least 1,000 years more into the future from the current time, which not a big issue in that respect. That's gonna amiable, but it then changes a lot of the other things that I had assumptions about, or haven't really such out about. It also creates a problem because then, with such an event like this, it creates a very different scenario, and I can actually start with just even with this event, and that's kind of big thing to uh, predict. And so we kind of start at year 2, which is 2038, where kind of people start like going back to the surface and going on. And it's not pretty. And I'm kind of giving a bit of, as I said, with the survival of the Japanese imperial family, I'm giving Japan a bit of a leg up when it comes to unity. But I think this is something that I need to probably revise for the other ones, for Europe and USA. I've gonna predict, we have, of course, America, given the current status in Europe, the same, a lot of strife and, internal fracturing, which as a result of, kind of what we see today. So in that, kind of with the current scenario, it's a tough thing, because we have a scenario here where pretty much the earth is in essence wiped clean, and we have the Mad Max survivalists out there in a bit, those who manage to survive outside of the shelters, which will be still pretty big, but even after, the population is going to decline. And even this, I would say, optimistic scenario where like 1 billion people survives outside of shelters to the second year, it's not going to be pretty. And we've kind of see that, actually at year 5 is that's where ash starts fading, and the temperatures start coming back to something more reasonable. And then we are definitely under 1 billion people, and even like the shelters have declining populations. And yeah, we have, Japan kind of starts its they have it either restoration state or council. Very funny because Hida is the region where you could probably best survive in Japan. Czechia, we have just farming villages, uh, and in China we have in the Tibetan plateau. After some infighting, it stalls. I'm kind of curious how, because historically what we've seen with China and the communists is that even like when they retreat like this and on the big march, all that stuff, it they can then like go even into, or at least in the past they went into ideological cleansing, and that's kind of the common with communists and similar thing, that they cannot go into purity spirals, and they can really decimate themselves, which in this case might actually be you could say a short-term advantage, because you reduce the number of mouths you need to feed. At the same time, also reduce the number of hands that can help out in the field, and you're in the highlands, so that's not that is not really helpful as well. So India, gonna no unity there. I think we should probably try to have it, rewrite this with more unity focus, and this is what I'm kind of struggling, because historically probably the unity would be much more impactful, kind of coming towards, but at the same time lately the focus of all states, I feel, or most of them, have been to really undermine the reason for the state's existence. So I'm not sure if the people there would be interested in restoring the original states before as well. So that's something to think about. And pretty much what happens here is that Europe just kind of descends back into the Holy Roman Empire. America becomes, just warlord states. So probably something like we see in Fallout. Eventually, Middle East fails. Just the factional infighting just destroys anything there, and the other places don't really start making that much difference. Eventually, Japan and China and Siberia, okay, Russia, will have kind of race. In this scenario, Japan would kind of boost the unity through the imperial family. It's probably the fastest. So that's thing, but kind of thing. We have the country of 50,000 people. That compared to what we know today, that's insane. And we can see like 10 years, we are maximum 800 million. 2056 or 20 years on, it's like down to 700 million at the best, and it keeps on declining until like year 2030, and even then year 40 it keeps on declining. So I think so, even like 40 years on, the population is still on decline. In year 70, okay, so I think here what we have is a bit of a mistake. So let's try the AI to kind of change this. And this is kind of how I'm doing this, for my stories, different things. So what we have seen here is the declining population. We see constant declining population. That doesn't sound right if we have a stabilized state and environment, especially the longer we are from the event and have time to restore or build. Please fix that in your prediction or explain more why the population is declining. Population keeps on declining. Second, America and China would have most shelters be from government. Actually, that's China. In China, most shelters would be from the government. Please explain a bit more how communist government would. This is a question like, would they actually emerge unified, or would be or not be able to unify quickly? That's one. Please explain a bit more your reasoning for Chinese location. Also, I heard that there are extensive bunkers in. Oh man, there was years ago. There was a massive Chinese earthquake, and it was funny because like suddenly out of nowhere came like these, engineers and other people. So then the military then concluded that they have extensive bunkers in that area, so because otherwise they would just not be there. So x.com, is it grok like that? Yes. There was an earthquake in the past in China. Strange thing was that immediately, if I can spell it, I think it's just one M. No, immediately afterwards, the government had engineers and sappers at the location leading to the conclusion that they have an extensive government bunker network in the area. Can you find me the location? Let's see if it can help with this. January 725, Tingri County. So that's one. No, this was older. But this also confirms again that they have in Tibet, which makes sense because that's where you can build some amazing bunkers. Yes. Yes, but there was another one previously, maybe even a decade ago. Let's see what it can find. It's 2008, Sichuan province. Here we go. Rapid deployments could have sparked speculations about pre-existing Russian-like bunker network, especially given Sichuan's location near the Tibetan Plateau and its rugged terrain. This is it. We should have for concealed installation, China's known military projects such as the underground Great Wall. Tunnel system for ICBMs might fuel such theories through, though these are willing to miss out on disaster response. The 2010, again, proximate to the Tibet. Interesting. So that, oh, sorry, I'm sharing the wrong one. But yeah, it's right here, the information. So please take in Chinese location. I think this is really what it is talking about. It so they have that for Chinese location given the communist regime. I also suspect that in USA the biggest shelters would be managed by the government, and they would have or what is it, contingencies for such a scenario. They would have contingencies for such a scenario. Let's see. Please explain more on your prediction that USA would descend into warlords state. So let's see how it can. Sometimes, if you put like too many things, it's gonna have things, and you really have to kind of catch it. And this goes even beyond just like this silly scenario, and it starts, can see it's gonna start getting to yeah, this is what we need to correct, because it kind of assumes the migration pre that actually happens afterwards. So it kind of has a bit trouble uh, following my following my instructions. Let's see what this says about China here. Reasoning with communist regime, built the shelters. Wow. Tibet, Sichuan, 200,000 capacity for military party elites and key workers. Centralized planning a disaster, predatory trigger damage, resilience, urban bunkers, from caches. Flood, Shanghai, 50 million dead. Wow. Central artery collapses by 2038. Tibetan shelters, initial survivors endure due to elevation and isolation. Local commanders seize power, forming warlike factions by 2040s. By 2040s, a new regime unifies under Tibetan Confederacy, leveraging pre-2036 texts, Hydra and CCP discipline. White Tibet, growth slow due to harsh climate. Yeah. So that's interesting. That works. So let's see America. We have a lot of shelter origins. So collapse and shelter infrastructure, shelter survive, but mass migration overwhelms order. Okay, so it's like 300 million. Like, so everybody goes inland. Yes. COG fails as comms and transports breaks. Shelter military splinter. Rogue generals, private bunkers turn defensive, and unsheltered bands fight over scraps. Scale chaos, like laws, diversity, unifying culture, like Japan's family and governments overload. Fracture the USA, shelter holes, but can project power amid militia and resource wars. So that's that. Okay, I have people writing me on other messages. Let me just quickly check if it's something related to the over here. Okay, no. Let me just quickly reply here. So that's interesting. So scale of chaos. So in a way, it is correct there with the migration issue. That's interesting. So why I'm thinking about this scenario for my stories is, as I mentioned, is to have a clean slate, potentially some exciting stories, because this is massive, and I'm pretty much then building up how the world is going to look like from the ground up. Obviously, a big boost to Japan, which I'm not sure is entirely justified. I kind of have to quickly reread here what they have. What they have here. Okay, that also starts at year 30. solar tech. I find it interesting. It's like this is like playing game of civilization, which is pretty fun. Uh, but yeah, almost half, well, 400,000 with imperial focus. Explain more on Japan and the transition from current political structure back to some sort of imperial rule. Let's see if we can handle that, because next thing, of course, what about religion and other things? Of course, the big thing is the cultural of emperor, and a lot of people, I would say, especially from abroad, underestimate that. And I also had the coronation, which is pretty fun. And this is like the thing, why I put Japan, or can I give them a bit more like that, because they are massively building for like general disaster preparedness, which in this case, it's not really going to save them, as you would say, save them, but it is going to really decrease the damage. And given that in most regions of the world, the damage is going to be total, even like decreasing it a few percentage will be really significant for whatever comes after. And especially like with Tohoku, where they pretty much raise the coastline, they're like 5-10 meters. In many places, that can be, it was still devastated, but it will not really go that much inland anymore because of that. So that will be massive. And like even then, think like if you, even if they manage to somehow create 100,000 capacity in shelters, 0.1% of the current population, actually even less than that. So that's pretty. I find it constantly mind-boggling, insane. I think a bit how little it comes like when it comes to protecting the population. It's like the entire system is built on that the good times without war or natural disasters are going to continue forever, and if natural disaster happens, it's going to be a small or relatively small localized event, and if like something super massive comes in, then it's like all bets are off. Yes, Fuji erupts from 125 millions to about 1 to 2 million by 2038. Wow. With 10 to 15,000 surviving in Hida Mountain shelters. That's interesting. The pretty much the government perishes. Gifu Prefecture Cyber Plugins to govern beyond towns. It's like, so pretty much the Japanese Alps are the big things. Yeah, this is kind of where the Imperial Household Agencies comes in. This is an interesting comment. Their survival is a fluke of preparation and geography, not military might. That's very interesting that the AI had a comment like that. And it's like another thing I also noticed with AI, it's very talkative if you allow it to be. And this is the big thing. You have, if the emperor survives, or if somebody from the emperor family, you have a rallying point. You have, something to connect to, and uh, really have fun. So, or you know, there's a cohesion for that. So that's a big thing. Yes, exactly. Survivors desperate for order gravitate to the symbol. So it starts more direct, and for the historical precedent, practically no function that progressive survives. The emperor fills the void, supported by shelter elites who see him as a stabilizing force. Uh, Restoration era, so kind of going into the Meiji style centralization feudal system. And again, it's kind of following on what the Japanese know from history and other things. So that allows them to kind of to move uh, quickly. And so it's a collapse driven reversion in this case. And this is interesting because where AI really comes nicely for writing. We kind of give these scenarios, and it can kind of come to what many other people were already writing, or what they're like other thoughts, and it can combine and remix those things for you. So it can save you a lot of time when it comes to word building, kind of generating the background in a sensible way. Doesn't work always, especially once you get into sci-fi and much more advanced thing. But it can also, what I've used it for is to generate. Okay, I have this. What am I missing, or what is the likely things that could really be here, and really, really is a really nice tool. So something that we're working to get into the literary universe eventually. Theft equals labor. That's nice. 1,000 strong army secures Honshu and trade. Thanks to Kyushu, Shikoku, Bamboo Navy. And yeah, it's a lot of salvaging of which I think, given how right now Japan is, that there would be a lot of opportunities for salvage. So loyalty is cultural through Shinto and pragmatic. Proto global power and but look at the size of it. 3 to 3.5 million. You cannot even imagine that, like you can have a like proto global power with such a small population. Just like there's just so many people today. So that's pretty fun. One big thing. Um, let's talk about religion globally. Let's see if it can handle something so swift or something so very little little to do, and then we can probably shift for another. Let's because and I really like this. And again, this is Grok because I have paid Twitter, so I'm just using because I have that. but you will get similar results, of course, with any other AIs. And okay. It's interesting. It's a bit slow now. Usually it's faster, but yeah, let's see. Of course, we have Christianity, Islam, and so on, plus smaller faiths. I think Judaism is like really going to be wiped out. Pretty much like the entirety of Middle East is wiped out, and what survives just destroys itself, from local things. And in a way, and that's like the big question, and we have, I think, a lot of maybe assumptions, especially here in the Europe and America, that with such a great say tragedy, or that people could be more unified. But lately I think I've kind of really switched my view that just people would rather rule over the ashes than, or like especially like in Middle East and other similar level societies, would rather rule over the ashes than live and be subjected to somebody else. So yeah, in Japan it will be a third of Shintoism. CCP begins as practical becomes ideology. That is a big question that I'm kind of thinking, how, because then it will be more practical to just have some sort of religion or something that to help people from getting mad with atheism. That will be much more difficult. And I'm speaking here from could say as a, or used to be, agnostic atheists. I'm no longer. I'm Shinto right now, but even that is probably not as strong. But the thing is, and it's something I've known for quite a long time, atheism really is suitable if you kind of can come to that conclusion by yourself, if you have a strong moral compass that you kind of build up. And most people just don't have time to deal with this. That's why pretty much why religions exist practically, to kind of be that shortcut, to kind of be that societal structure that they provide. So that is a issue. And I think the bigger it's like, even like in Czechia, which is the biggest atheist country, at least in Europe, probably in the world, a percent at least per capita. It's even then people go into a lot of other spiritual things. It's just kind of is something that I would say majority of people crave and need. So let's see. So that I think that would be I think a strong clash with the Communist Party. Gonna figure out, and we might already have a few stories just here. So we have Hinduism fractures, local deities, Middle East, Islam struggles, 10,000 initial display without Mecca, And this is just what I was thinking: tribalism overshadows doctrine. Christianity splinters. 15 millions. Actually form culture, abandoned beliefs amid vulgarism. So we have, Mad Max and or Fallout, all the different things there. So that's, and if you know these things, you can kind of see where the AI is drawing a lot of the inspiration for this. So that's so yeah, sheltered Christians will make it. So Christianity, Buddhism persist in small enclaves. Holy sites gone, clergy dead, tax laws, survivors turn to immediate spiritual needs, survival mending, favoring local or charismatic leaders. So Shinto dominates. Remaining Buddhism kind of blends with Shinto. Tibetan strives, lamas growing spiritually and practically adapting to new highlands, folk beliefs. And that's with atheism fading and all that stuff, that's going to be very interesting. Siberia, Orthodox Christianity revives from sheltered priests. Animism grows among unsheltered tied to the land. Interesting. We have Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity and Islam. Tribal animism from whites. Catholicism persists with Incan traditions. So that's the Andes. So that's Inca. Brazil, Catholicism holds. They have Afro-Brazilian faiths. Catholicism, secularism. Rule survivors revive pagan roots. Interesting. Islam collapse. Local cults emerge, no structure. It's India. Well, really, Grok really has it out for India. Like, there's just totally everything, fails there. That's funny. Yeah, new apocalyptic cults from despair again, drawing here on the Mad Max and a lot of the other apocalyptic and horror literature out there in this regard for the post-apocalyptic scenarios. A lot of pagan revival. So that's interesting. Let's kind of switch it to year 2200 after the event, which is evolution. Japan is Shinto, global faith with empire, Buddhism and cities, electricity powers temples. China, 1.5 million Tibetan Buddhism. Siberia, we have Orthodox Christianity, industrial churches. What is this, like Warhammer? We have the spirits of the machines or what? Ethiopia is Christianity with some Islam, and this is Catholicism and Inca. Brazil has also Catholicism. Czechia, Catholicism, secular. India, Middle East, cults, no major faiths. Yikes. USA is 40 million total weight. Christianity, paganism. I think the numbers of people are a little bit off. If you have Japan like with 3.5 million and states and Europe with like in tens of millions. So yeah, you have to kind of watch it because it kind of likes to switch here and there. So this is kind of how Shinto rise, Buddhism resilience, Christianity fragmentation, Islam's collapse, uh, Hinduism falls, so it's kind of refers to local cults, and yeah, of course, the more failed than it is. Persist in Czechia, urban elites. I think it really has, and again, it sometimes just like really takes some instruction too much. Yeah. So that's and it then that's kind of it. Oh, that failed. I think that's pretty cool. And what do we have? So that this is how you can kind of use it for for kind of word building, AI or Grok or ChatGPT, all the others. That's Let's see if we can. What AI is best for word building? Let's see if we can kind of finish off this. One helper powered by ChatGPT 4, designed to assist creators. So we actually even have now special tools for this. A word building generator. So we have some Reddit here. There's an AI for that. I have AI blocked, or sorry, Reddit blocked for a little bit. So word building generator. Tuesday, what is your story about? Theme, genre, additional character generator. Oh man, I am falling behind the literary universe on this. What is this website? So future generator tools empower your high quality, unique, and engaging content. This is one side really nice, on the other utterly scary. Text genie, paraphrasing to grammar checker, tone checker, text summarizer, plagiarism checker. Text genie. Okay, that's why does it have email generator? That's just okay. This makes me just skeptical that it might be just generated. Okay, so it has. Okay. Okay, so just trying to be everything. That's a bit. How should I take it? It's a lot of. Yeah, this is a lot of stuff. Usually when it does a lot of these things, and this kind of goes not just for this, but especially for something this new. It does a lot of things. It's the question is how good is the quality? Because then the question is probably I can probably get the uh, same result if I can put it into ChatGPT or something similar. The benefit is you kind of have already these things predefined, so you don't have to kind of learn or think of them yourself, and it has some, but you can usually get it pretty easily in. But I'll keep this as a inspiration. So we had a bit of a fun with AI, but now comes the question: what to do with this scenario, irrespective of if true or false. It's a bit tough because the reason why I'm writing kind of sci-fi is to explore different themes and topics and other things that are unburdened by today, and that's why I'm setting them a lot. And I mean a lot in the future. So that, but the problem is, of course, the more in the future I set them, the more a lot of these things are not going to be maybe as associatable. But that's not a problem because that's not because then it's about the characters and the environment they live in. But we all come from we have history, personal, national, culture, all that stuff that forms what we are today. So I need to have something that kind of explains how we got from point A to point B, or in this case to the start of the story historically, because that's going to affect a lot of the characters, how they think, how they see the world, even stuff like religion. With this, I can, as I said, kind of have a clean slate, kind of build the story on top of that. It is a lot similar, you could say, if I kind of put in here. Well, I've got two examples from my book, or not my books, but one of my favorite authors, probably most favorite Czech author that I have. He wrote an alternative history called Sun Doesn't Set on Czech countries, lands. So it's an alternative history which follows the Great Storm, or it's set in the 50s after the Great Storm. Just gonna describe first in this book, and that's in the 1848 or May 1848. A great storm came, which really changed the map of the world. And just to kind of give you a taste of how different the world is, because of course you can see the map of Europe, like even southern Africa, all that stuff. There's been some space phenomenon. The oceans have risen as well. So it's a, should I say, a very different thing, but that is the kind of the basis of where the story kind of starts, and from there that allows you to create the world that's in this book or in the series. So you can have World War II style like war between the Czech and Slovak kingdom and Russian imperium, and all that comes to it. So kind of a way how to give us Czech a navy and all those things. So a lot of fun, but at least in this case of the Great Storm, at least what survived, what was there, big damage, but at least the inland location survived, and you have something to build upon. That's the big part. So then the progress, like even though with delay, the technology kind of follows what we kind of know. So it's not that alien when it comes to the story. Of course, with my sci-fi, that's at this point, especially if I go with this event, it will be actually no, it will be either case. It will be at least thousands years in the future. But I kind of need to know kind of what were the shaping moments, and if I have like such a huge cataclysm for the humans, that will affect a lot how things are going to or how people think about it. So of course there will be much more emphasis on preparing for disasters in this new society. Of course the religions are going to be completely different, or not completely, but we'll definitely see less of Islam. We'll see more of Shintoism, Buddhism, and certain countries are just going, or like what today are dominant is not going to be, because in this scenario what we have is that kind of going from that, it will be Siberia, China, and Japan that will be dominant in the new world. Eventually we'll see in South America a little bit. We'll see in Ethiopia quite strong eventually, and then remains the question of North America and Europe. If once they kind of get through, could say, the warring states period again, if they can kind of show what they've shown already historically, which would probably be a significant, or wouldn't be like it's going to be probably kind of following the historical precedent in this case. But so those are things to think about. Let me know in the comments what do you think, if I should go with this, or if I should instead try to kind of resolve in general how today's issues are going to resolve themselves or not, and then continue on into something, especially when it comes to colonization of space and everything that comes into it. So you can imagine with such an event that destroys so much world, and a space exploration gets delayed by a few centuries at the very least, probably more. Yeah, but there might be a very significant delay. Maybe once you stabilize the food supply, then you can then invest heavily into these things. Getting made of attentions right now. While if I continue, with that, nothing big like this is going to happen, then then I have to do a lot of resolve and the kind of thing. Okay, what's the next word we're going to do, and maybe find like another, because it's possibly eventually going to happen, but like some other thing, like nuclear war and whatnot. So, but then of course it's very different. So we'll have to figure out all those things. So that's a fun when writing sci-fi. Another option would be to write in such a distant future that you don't it doesn't really matter the ancient past as we would be today, and the first you could say colonization of space and all that stuff, because you are so advanced already in the future that the original how you go into the special stuff is like of no interest. So that's instead it's the new mythos, the new mythology. Of course, in my own story, if I go with this, then this would um, not be of such a big importance, but I will have to definitely rethink significant important elements of my story, and think how to change it, because one of the big conflicts there is the conflict between Earth and the colonies, kind of for political power and some other issues. So the Earth's government is not behaving, you could say, as it as would be proper, doing a lot of shady stuff. So that is something to then consider, because then it changes the entire dynamics. It also changes the you could say ethnical makeup, where if I don't have this, then I have to consider, okay, what countries or regions they originate from, and in this case of this in this event, this shift, then I could just really go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 locations maybe where people survived, or and kind of extrapolate from that. So that is the benefit, because then it's much more easier, simpler. I may even go and try like to wipe code a game out of this, maybe just for the fun. That just hurts thinking about, because if I'm like even moderately successful, that's just but who knows, it might be possible if I play the cards correctly. So yeah, so this was been my birthday stream, musing about possible stories and all that stuff. I'll be back to regular programming on Monday and on Friday. Friday I have stream with Alim Ghaffar and Jan Kuster. We're going to do meteor news. So we'll have quite a few interesting news there. And on Monday I'll be back. I have to figure out exactly what I'll be talking about. Maybe I'll be trying more programming with AI, just because that's kind of the big trend now. not sure. Maybe if you are interested in guys in me talking to about stories and story building, maybe we can do story building. And I think if there is interest, I am happy to do story building. Let's say in the open. So that's that, and I will definitely be using more AI for that, just to kind of make up for the lost time on other things. So that is for us. So please let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section what would you like, to kind of me to focus on, and I'll be happy to add that to, say, my roster or similar, and kind of figure out the schedule. Right now, scheduling is kind of been week by week. That's my issue. Apologies for that. It's something that I need to improve. Just also, I've been trying the new features in StreamYard, and I've realized that especially for this, it was not the most appropriate, but we'll figure it out. Once again, hello to Rumble. I'll have a more proper stream ready next time. So that's that. And if you would like to see me do more for open source and coding, then you can sponsor me on GitHub. I will be establishing properly my fan club on Literary Universe. And if you want help with anything Meteor.js or React related or combination, I am happy to help you. You can go on my call.com and schedule a call with me. And yeah, one more time here, my GitHub sponsorship, and more incoming on that. So thank you very much. And without any further delays, I will see you on Friday if you are joining us for Meteor Dispatches. If not, then I will hopefully see you on Monday for another stream, and probably technical one, or maybe world building. We shall see. Stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel. Feel free to like or give me a like, so that hopefully it helps the future content that I'll produce. And I will see you around. Bye.